In this episode, strategy plus action equals winning 2020.
This show is powered by Black Ginger. If you'd like to shorten your sales cycle and build a foundation that makes all of your other sales and marketing initiatives better, reach out to us on LinkedIn.
Today on Strategy in Action, we've got Laura Garza, an absolute amazing person, insurance expert, serial entrepreneur, incredible mom, Air BNB super host. The e-com store owner, the list goes on. And we just wanted to welcome her to the show and see if we can pull some of these secrets to success out of her today. Laura Garza, welcome to Strategy in Action. It's Johnathan King and Jason Croft, your host here.
Hey, you guys. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So, Laura, if anytime during this episode you want to just, launch another business, let us know. We can push pause for a minute. We're here.
Yeah, my CPA would not be happy with me. Her as well emailed me and said, please let us know if you plan on starting any other businesses over the weekend. And I said, yeah, I don't think so. That was in actually July. I actually had to get her permission. Well, not her permission. I call her my boss, to be honest, because she manages all of my money and tells me what to pay and what not to pay. So I had to approve 2 businesses with her first. So is this smart? Is this okay? And she was like, yeah, but please let us know before you do another one.
But I love that. That goes into just some of the secrets. I often challenge people and say, almost unless you're a CPA, you should have a CPA, especially if you're running a business. And so, taking those types of actions and taking that strategy is great, because I'm sure it's helped your business grow. And speaking of business, I want to start off by talking about this experience of watching Laura Garza build your Goosehead insurance agency. So tell us about that. I know previously you were in the insurance space, and so it's been something that you've been passionate about. But tell us about how you were able to build your own agency to be this successful and so quickly.
Man, a lot of sacrifice, to be honest. I originally started with State Farm, and then I got poached to Goosehead. Most people know my story. There's a link on my Instagram page. You can go read it of how I got to my own agency. But the first 6 months, so I mentor 5 ladies a month as well, and I tell them all this story, and they're looking how to build and grow, right? So I share. Anybody that wants help, I'm all for it, because I once needed that help, But to me, it was just a matter of getting out there. Consistency is key always. You've got to keep going. For example, I use social media as my platform. I tell my ladies, this is your stage. Don't use it as oh, it's just Instagram. Oh, it's just Facebook. No, this is your stage. Every day you're getting up on your stage and you're talking to your entire audience. That's your audience. You need to look at them as that. Yeah, it's your family, your friends, but that's still your audience. If they don't like it, they can delete you or they can remove you or block you, right? So you need to post every single day, 1 post of insurance, preferably around lunchtime, because what's everybody doing? Scrolling.
Yeah.
And then tie it in with your personal life, your family life, because insurance is boring to a lot of people, or it's scary to a lot of people, or a lot of people think we're scammers. We're just trying to take your money, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's a thing of nowadays, I don't know about y'all, but I don't watch TV. Sometimes I don't know if I can't sit still during television, or if I'm just would rather be reading and educating myself, probably. But it's more of, you think of television, there's all of these commercials, there's all of these ads, there's all of these things, right, that are constantly feeding into you. Why don't you do that on social media? It's the same thing. People are constantly looking at their phone. Your post is an ad. Look at it as an ad. 1 post, they're going to see it. And then all of a sudden you hear somebody needs insurance, and it's oh, there's this girl that always posts something about, and she has a daughter plays soccer. Oh yeah, it's Laura Garza. It works, y'all.
It works.
That's huge too, because like you said, like how many people are going to follow an insurance page and all of that? And that's an industry, especially, that you've got to merge those two things, like it or not. That's our world right now, right?
Exactly. This is Facebook, Instagram, all of that is modern day television and commercials and ads, and it's free. Free. FREE is what I tell them all. But the key is, don't do it once a month or every now and then, because people are going to take you seriously. They're going to think, oh, she's just a side time or part-time agent. She doesn't really care. Now, if you look, I don't really post as much because I'm trying to manage my flow. Good problem to have, but I'm trying to keep my flow down a little bit until I hire big. But it's a little overwhelming right now, but it's okay. But I've built it up to be that way because of what I've done over the past 4 years. And then also before COVID, it was a matter of networking. I needed everybody to know who Laura Garza was and that she has an agency in Frisco, Texas. She does all of Texas. I need everybody to know my name because I want insurance related to be me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I'm not backing down. This is my territory. This is my place, and it worked. And I did it for a good 6 months. Happy hours, networking, dinners, lunches, meetings, whatever it is, you name it. I created Taco Tuesday. I created events. I brought people to me. I paid for so much. Like, takes money to make money, I did so much for a good 6 months. And to be honest, I feel like that's really all it took, is a hardcore 6 months. And then that 6 months sacrifice, what I'm talking about, is it clearly took away a lot of time from my daughter, right? Because I felt like I was out all the time. So for a good 6 months, I was home maybe like one night. My parents helped me a ton, taking her to all her practices and games and stuff like that. And it was just like, I know I need to do this. I just need to get it going and get it up and going, get it off the ground. And I did. And it set me up. So
I love it. If y'all heard the 6 months, but really just pulling that out, because it was the daily sacrifices and the daily dedication and your strategy, because I remember watching this, your strategy of truly being everywhere, this mass approach at content, at presence, at awareness, at building relationships, and that turned into literally what you've built now. Another thing out of that came out of that situation that I saw you doing strategically was really building this referral network of people that literally love Laura Garza and they're willing to support you. And I've seen Rachel Carter, and y'all have just built
she's one of my business partners.
I'm telling you, y'all have built this circle of just powerhouse, especially women, to power a group.
I always say when it comes,
how you did that.
Well, when it comes to the whole female thing, and no offense, but I always, some guys have like told me like you're so feminist, we see you rooting for just the women or whatever, and I'm like, I don't have a wife at home to help me do the cleaning, the laundry, take my kid to practice, all of those things. Maybe if I did, not a husband, but maybe if I did, I'd be selling 10 times more. I guarantee it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I have to manage and I have to balance. Like, I can't work nonstop 24/7. But anyways, that I always say that to men and women. I said, ladies, do not because there are men at our corporate office or whatever that sell way more than me, and I'm like, it low key bothers me because I'm like, man, if I had a wife at home, I'd be sound like that too.
Do you feel, and this is a side question, but I'm always guilty of comparing myself to others. I think what comes across for you is, hey, you got all of this stuff, but that is your purpose. This is part of your helping people around the state of Texas with insurance and everything. But you've cracked the code on creating a life of happiness as well. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really, really happy right now. Really content in knowing. It's crazy. I feel like of knowing what I've done for myself and for my daughter, how I've set her up. The legal name of my insurance company is LG Star Insurance Group. So it has my daughter's name in it, DBA, Goosehead Insurance. But also, you know, it's a matter of sometimes people look bad on money, right? Making so much money, blah, blah, blah. But you can't get anywhere without money either. So, I mean, you know, you need, before I started insurance, right? I used to like stress out so much about club soccer. Like, you know, there's all these parents, and I've always only been a single parent that's by myself there. And I'm like, crap, they want another $500. They want another, like, you know,
expensive
$100 for a tournament, and they want, oh shit, we have to buy a new, you know, gear or whatever. And I'm like, I'm over here secretly, I'd be like stressing out and like panicking. And I'm like, oh, for them, they're like, oh, okay, do you need it now? Or like, yeah, we'll pay you tomorrow. We're paying next week. And I'm just like, I'm tired of it. You know, I got tired of struggling. I got tired of feeling that way. And I got tired of feeling not inadequate, but like I couldn't, because I couldn't, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So now it's a matter of like, I'm on your level too, so I can do it. And it's, in a way, it's funny because it's like, it's a good feeling that makes me happy. Do you know what I mean? And it's so funny. I was talking with one of the parents, and we were talking about taxes. He brought up Trump and all of this stuff, and I'm like, I avoid all of that just because I am a business owner. So I'm like, I'm just not gonna talk about it. And he was like, yeah, we paid like, you know, $8,000. We paid more than Trump. And I was like, I paid like $24,000 last year for 2019. And he was like, oh. And I was like, okay.
Yep,
you know,
it's like, you get it.
Keep your mouth shut.
And that's, I mean, but I think that's so, I'm glad you asked that question, Johnathan, too, because I think that answer is like, that's the meat. That's the real answer of why I go out and make money, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Of course, we love the houses, we love the cars, we love all of that stuff. But as a parent, especially to have that, it would be different if you were struggling to, you know, pay your check with your friends because you went out to eat and stuff. But that when it's layered in with your kid, like, and you being able to now have that, I mean, it's not even, it's deeper than happy, right? It's like that fulfillment, and you did it too. And now, and it's in that tangible, anchored in way. I think it's huge.
Yeah. And now it's more of a, okay, I'm here, I'm happy. I feel like I made it because I'm content. And like, I recently told myself, I can just chill and not sell anymore and just live off what I'm making, or I can keep growing because I just want to keep growing, and I feel like I'm young enough, right? But with her, I'm like, she has no idea how much I've set her up for. She's only 13, right? So I'm like, this is a business. I can keep going. It's residual based. I have residual income, passive income, and regular income is what I call it. Yep. So I'm like, she has no idea what I've done for her. Like, if that's not love, I don't know what love is.
And really, to that, you know, I'm not a parent yet, but I can't wait until I am. I get to watch people like you guys do amazing jobs of raising kids, and you know, I've been learning for years from y'all, literally, from you guys and other people. But even in that, how you set her up financially, what's almost deeper than that? You know, because the money, at even whatever age it is, she might take control of her trust, and she's you know, she's good. Yeah. Mom set her up forever. But what is it that you really wanted to provide for her by doing that? Yeah.
And well, you know, it's funny that you say that, because to be honest, she doesn't know the extent, right? She doesn't know that much. And I'm never going to make her feel like we're something that we're not. But it's also a matter of letting her struggle a little bit too, and letting her feel and want, because I felt that. And if I, you know, I think back, I'm like, if my parents did this for me, would I be where I'm at? Would I want so bad? I don't think I would, because you know, I could be like, well, I have it already. I don't need to try, or my parents got my back, or whatever. You know, I came from nothing too. So it's like, she needs to feel that, and she needs to know, like, money doesn't grow on trees type thing. Yep. So, you know,
Mom planted this tree and then watered it and put the sun.
Yes. I'm definitely going to make her feel that, especially, she's asking for like a Camaro, she's asking for a Maserati, and I'm like, girl.
So she grew up in Frisco.
And she looks up to her soccer players, right? The Cristiano, and so what they drive and stuff like that. And I'm like, girl, I love your aspirations, okay? I love that you are hardcore, but your first car might be a little Honda. I don't know.
Man, I love that. And that first, I was telling somebody the story the other day of, in Frisco, we definitely had the kids that grew up in Starwood, and it would be a car show when you went to Frisco High School.
Yeah.
And just that's just crazy in most parts of the world, most parts of the country. And especially since I came over to Spain, like you'll see what kids get as 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds. Their first cars are grandfather gave them something from 1995, and it works, so, and then it's like, man, the cars we were getting, our friends were getting, that was crazy. So
yeah.
Well, now I definitely want to move into talking about a bit more focused on your business. So this section of the podcast really highlights how you've been able to serve people in the community and throughout the state in an incredible way through your business, your businesses. So first, tell us about the 3, 4, 5 businesses that you have, and then we'll get into insurance specifically.
Yeah. So I guess the first one is the insurance brokerage. That one houses about 35 different insurance companies that I represent. So I basically just shop the market for my client, essentially within the home buying experience. So when they buy a house, go on a contract, the lender or the realtor sends them to me, I get them insured, and then they get to closing. Pretty simple. I prefer it. I don't really like dealing with the shopping around as far as the captive agents go. Totally different process. I love the home buying process. So that's the bread and butter of everything. And then the second one is the Air BNB. That one has blown my mind. I did not expect it to do what it's done real quick. I launched it September 1st, and it's booked until the 3rd week of February. That's crazy. And it's making about $5,000 a month on its own.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that one's paying for that house, the house that I'm living in right now. It's freaking awesome. I love it.
That's amazing.
And let's tap into that a little bit too, because guys, this is the point of this show, and we've got this all-star on. So I'm gonna try to pull out all the secrets. I'm, big fan of Air BNB. I had one there in Dallas, two in Dallas, and loved that experience. Still wanting to get, or I
you
will.
Have them still?
Huh?
Do you still have them?
No, not in Dallas.
No.
Looking in Spain though, so that will happen.
I will go to your Airbnb in Spain then. Yes,
for sure. Tell us about how that idea came about. The COVID just happened. Most people are freaking out. A lot of people are freaking out. And then you got the optimist business entrepreneur, and then you see that opportunity. What was the strategy behind that? And then what action did you take to get this thing
going?
Yeah.
Several things. I feel like I am the risk taker type. I've always been that type. I just feel like you're not going to grow and learn, especially if you don't take risks. If you fail, so what? The webinar that I teach every single month to women is called Failure Through Grit and Determination. So I teach that every single month. But if you don't fail, you're not going to know any better. You're not going to learn from it. You're not going to grow as a person. You're not going to grow professionally. So take the risk. If you lose, you lose. So what? Get back up, dust yourself off, and keep going, right? But this was take a risk. And I was going back and forth in my head. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to furnish an entire house. That's a lot of money. I'm going to have to, what if it doesn't work? Who's going to take this stuff back? Am I going to sell it back? One of my girlfriends was also she was like, just sell it on Marketplace. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go buy everything on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. That's where I got everything. Literally everything that I got was from Marketplace. I think I maybe spent total, I think it was like $800-900.
Bravo.
Yeah. But I did revamp my entire house. I did do some remodeling or whatever, because I live there, right? So I remodeled it. It was about $28,000 just to remodel, but that was from March to September that I was just doing things slowly. But it was a matter of, you know what? Also, I feel like because of COVID, for me, I always go off of how do I feel about this? How do I think other people would feel, right? I always try to put myself in other people's shoes. How do I think they would feel about this? Me, I still haven't really traveled that much. In July, I went to, maybe it was June. I went to Florida for like a couple of days. I got an Airbnb. I was not comfortable going to a hotel. I didn't want to be around a lot of people. I needed to get the heck out. And I was like, we're going Airbnb.
Yep.
And so I figured people still want to travel. People still want to go do stuff. We can't be cooped up in our house. And clearly, I mean, Frisco's like sports city, right? Clearly. Yeah. So, and then where my house is, it's like almost downtown Frisco. So I was like, why not? People are still going to travel. And then needless also to say that, you know, the mortgage was only $950. So, because I bought it in 2008. And so I'm like, okay, if I at least get it rented out for like a week, it's done. Like I'll at least break even, mortgage is paid, no big deal. And I told myself I'm either going to go the standard rental side, which would make me profit about maybe $600 a month, or I'll go the Airbnb route, which I'm going to profit $5,000 a month, right?
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Screw it. Life has been nothing but risks. I've failed so many times in life. I'm just what's another failure if this fails, right? And worst case scenario, it's staged and somebody can rent it and I'll make something, right?
Yep.
So literally within the first 3 days, first of all, photography is everything. If you don't get a good photographer, I researched. That's the thing about me. I research a lot and I read a lot and I like compare and contrast and I like look at so many different things and I think on myself of like, what is this telling me? What would this tell that person, the client or somebody that's wanting to book it? And so I looked at his photos and I was like, wow, he takes great photos. And I looked at him and I was like, that house is gorgeous. But then I'm like, I know the real estate industry, right? So I'm like, not really. It's just his pictures.
Yeah.
So anyway, and I knew his stuff would sell my house, you know. I mean, it's a nice house. It's regular. It's just a standard 3-bed, 2-bath. But and then I put an attraction piece into the house, the backyard fire pit, because I'm a millennial. So my thing is, if I'm going to book somebody's house and give somebody my money, my hard money, I want some kind of entertainment too. You know, what am I going to do at night when I'm chilling, just watching TV? I hate TV. So I want to chill and do something, have fun at the house as well if I'm giving you my money and staying at your crib. You know what I mean? And so I think that has sold it a lot. And then adding the personal touch of the s'mores kit that I do. People love that. So, and it's just personalizing things and kind of making them feel like they're home. And then I leave a note, welcome Jason, welcome Johnathan, you know?
I love it.
And that's those little things that's why the majority of people who do go out to Airbnb instead of a hotel, it's those kind of human touches like that are huge.
Yeah. Like I'm over here battling myself. This lady that's there now, she's in there from Miami, Florida. She's here for 3 weeks, but I'm like, I don't know if it's just that I'm a nice person or what, but I'm like, I kind of want to send her tips treats because she's been there for like 2 weeks.
Do it.
But I'm like, no, Laura, you don't need to keep spending money on people. But I'm like, but that's not, I don't know, you know what I mean? It's just me telling myself, maybe I'll do it before she leaves. That's a long time. I mean, she's 3 weeks long. That's like a lot of money. And tips treats is like $40 and that'll be a good review.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like those little things, and I'm sure you have that same mindset in your insurance agency, everywhere
100%.
else too, because those ripple effects that happen because of that. You and I, we're having this conversation on this show because 2 years ago, you're putting in those 6 months of crazy hard work, right?
Yeah.
Having those meetups, meeting up at restaurants and stuff. Here's one example right here of that ripple effect. I think that mindset is huge, and people just don't put enough into it. They do the math in the micro, right? In the right now, instead of looking long term.
Yeah. It's very much long term. It's like, what am I going to do today that's going to get me somewhere in 6 months or a year or, whatever it is. And that's 100% true.
And it's those little things, and I've seen you do that. I've seen the gifts that you send to your referral partners, and the Taco Tuesdays, and just paying for all of that stuff. That is incredible, but it really forms the relationship and shows that you care.
It really does.
You're going above and beyond for all of these situations, and who knows, that $40 worth of tips treats turns into the lady from Miami coming every year for 3 weeks, and sending 5 or 10 more couples from Miami. If you ever go to Dallas, you have to stay here. It pays off.
She's already messaged me, and she's like, "Oh my God, we love it here. We wish we could stay." Her contract got extended for 2 more months, and she's like, "We wish we could stay here for the next 2 months, but it's already booked out." So, love it, but I'm like, and then she has a little baby, so I don't have a baby, right? So I had to go buy her a whole pack and play.
Wow, yeah.
And I was like, I'm just gonna buy it brand new because of COVID, B, because I'm going to need it for my next clients that need it, or what do you call them? Guests?
Yeah. It's the same. They buy insurance when they're in town too. And it'll be
free because it's new, right? But yeah, it's been awesome. There's a word that they called it. It's more of a host mentality, I guess, that you have to have. And I guess I've always been the type, though, to want to take care of people and make them feel good, because I at one point know how it was to not feel good not treated well by other people, I guess you could say. So I think that's also another reason why I try to make other people feel like they mean something to me. Yep. Do you know what I mean? So
this might be the best episode, guys. The girl is just hitting. She's just going after. She's pulling the heartstrings.
I hope you're taking notes, everybody.
We didn't pay her to be like this. Her parents. Thank you. Gratitude to your parents for raising Laura Garza the way that they did. Seriously. I love it.
That's awesome. So
this all goes into why you're so successful. And I just love it. One of the last things I was going to ask about the business is, what has been the best part of running this, or kind of what's been your biggest client win so far through insurance? Have you saved someone's house that caught on fire, or what's been the best thing?
I mean, man, there's so many stories. I mean, with us, a little bit of the insurance world, but a couple years ago, every now and then I'll run into people, like if I don't get their insurance to a certain amount, they can't get the house because it's over their DTI. So it's kind of like brokers especially come to save the day versus a captive agency. It's just one product, right? So we have all these companies that we can find a great policy, but it's under what they need it to be. So they are able to close. They can get the house because of us. So that's like feel good. And then, I think the most I've saved somebody is like $4,000 to $5,000 a year. That's like 2 vacations, 3 vacations, if depending where you go. And then I think just a matter of being able to give back. I've lived in Frisco all my life, so, and I'm not ashamed of this story, but when I first had my daughter, I was on everything welfare wise. I was on food stamps, CPS, Medicare, like all of that. And I'm not ashamed of the story at all. It's like, my whole mentality going through that was, use this. One day, you're going to pay this back. You know what I mean? To get to where you need to. Grow where I was working before. Grow, work yourself up the ladder, corporate ladder. Thank God I'm not in corporate world anymore, but man, it was grow, and one day you're going to return this favor. You're going to, because I took it as like, I'm taking people's money is what I felt like, of people that didn't even know me was helping me, you know what I mean? Yeah. So now that I can give back several times a year to Frisco Family Services or to charity or any kind of holiday stuff, I do, because I take that shit seriously, because there are other moms out there like me that don't have a place to go or don't have money or have gone through stuff, and it's like I'm returning in that. So I think doing what I do is also a matter of, it's not just insurance, it's community wise, it's helping, and it's so much bigger.
You talked about that leveraging Facebook, Instagram, doing all that to grow and to continue to grow. How much does, the commercial you made, creating content, video, just like that? What's up, everybody?
They're live on here with me.
That's fantastic. And having that muscle, like as soon as we got on, you were like, this is going here. This is content. This is great. And it is authority building content. It's humanizing. It's everything. What level of value do you put on that for this growth that you've experienced?
As in like why I do it, or what do you mean specifically?
Yeah, really the return on it, right? On doing all that.
So with that question involved, so like, for example, let me take it back to when Johnathan was like, I see all your posts, I see what you're doing, I see all the gifts. That reaction causes a reaction, not just to one person, but to like 50 people. And then from those 50 people to it's like if you drop a thing of water in a bucket and you see the ripple effect, that's what happens. And that's what it does. For example, my Air BNB story that I posted recently that had like 75 shares. I've never had 75 shares on a story. And from there, my friend requests blew up. I don't accept everybody because I'm a little weird on that. If you're a realtor lender, I will. But other than that, because I do share so much personal stuff that I want creepers, just a little weird. But even when you like share, like I've had t-shirts made that say Goosehead Insurance Laura Garza Agency. My partners will wear those. They'll tag me in it. That's free marketing. That's, I'm sharing it on my pages. They're like walking bulletin boards for me, if you will. The gifts, like I said, makes them feel like I care because I do. And it's a matter of like, I don't like to take. That's also why I give, because I feel like, give me your clients. That makes me feel like a taker. And I don't like that feeling. So it's also me thanking them and showing appreciation. I feel like in most businesses, if you're not doing that, you're doing it all wrong.
I love it. And you would say that you've seen the direct correlation of the content that you create and the revenue you generate. So even from just sharing, I know, for example, the Airbnb story, I was so excited to read that post. Of course, I shared it. I told like 17 people about it. Just kept talking. I'm like, look at this story. This is incredible.
Sometimes I feel bad. I'm like posting this stuff on Facebook, and I'm like, I hope people don't view me as like she's doing another thing. Like, whoop-de-doo, she's always had her life together. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I wonder, and I'm like, honey. I'm not. My personal life is a hot mess. Love life, I should say.
but I'm gonna stop you right there, Laura Garza, because that thing that you just did downplays everything else that you've done.
I know.
There is absolutely no reason to. And I had the same discussion with a friend here in Spain. I knew him from the States. They did a huge launch of this course, and they made probably 4 or 5 times what the average salary is. And he did that in 2 weeks. And But then they proceeded to tell a story. It's like, oh, things are going great right now, but who knows what will happen. And I'm like, no, I'm betting on you. I'm betting on Laura Garza. We can predict the future based on what you've done in the past. There's a Laura Garza thing for a reason in Frisco. So we only know what's next. But
I'm 19.
it still counts. It still counts. But putting that into perspective, I challenge you to even look at that and say, hey, it's your duty to put that content out and share those stories, because you're inspiring people like me, like everybody else. And you know that. I'm not telling you anything new.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of being, I tell myself that too. And some of my friends are like, Laura, stop. When I say stuff about the boutique. And I'm like, but also I do know that you have to remain humble at all times, but also if God gave it to you, he can take it away real quick. 100%. He can, like, no matter what, you can be on this high level making, several six figures a year, and then all of a sudden something crazy can happen. I mean, nothing is promised. And so I think I'm just more like grateful constantly. And that's also why I do what I do. It's just, I don't ever want to be like cocky about anything. So it's why I'm also like,
but you can too. You can. Don't let people tell you can't be cocky. Cocky is the result of all those late nights and the 2 a.m. sending out policies and taking phone calls at 7 in the morning to get houses approved. You be cocky as you want. You Laura Garza. You get the tattoo. You put your own name on your arm. Laura Garza, get the tattoo. Damn. It got me hyped. I know we are coming to the end of this. I'm gonna let you take it away. Anything you specifically want to get out of Laura Garza while we still have it?
Man, I just want to. I love this. So many. I was taking notes. I hope everybody else was too. Just fantastic. I think the work ethic, consistency was just a massive thing that you touched on, but I've witnessed it, right? Being, seeing, following you on social and things like that. That consistency is there, and that's everything. And that's sure consistency on social and posting and things like that, but the consistency that nobody sees, right? The 2 a.m. policies that Johnathan talked about. That's massive.
Yeah. I worried at one point people were going to think I was only out partying, and because they don't see the networking. They just see the drinks and the getting together and the dinners. And I'm like, this is work.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. It's huge. So how do people find you, talk to you? What's the best way to reach out to you and get help from you and learn more and all that good stuff?
Yeah. Any social media platform, I'm all over it. You can Google me. All my stuff comes up. I don't know how, but it does. I've also, for this purpose, because I feel like I want to help people. I really do, because I feel like, I don't know, the more successful people, the better. Like, why not? So I've created an entrepreneur page only for this purpose. So I share more motivational stuff, not necessarily insurance, not Air BNB, not boutique, just Laura Garza stuff and just entrepreneurial mindset stuff. So if anybody wants to reach out, send me an email. I'm more than welcome to help, 30 minutes, here and there. And I love that stuff. Believe it or not, like I tell my ladies I mentor every month, this helps you just as much as it helps me. You know what I mean? It keeps me focused, keeps me on track. If I can help you, you're helping me too.
Thanks so much for being on, Laura.
Yeah,
Johnathan, see you next time.
And then you have y'all say bye to everybody here. Say bye.
See y'all later. Thanks for watching.
Bye, you guys. Hope y'all got something out of it. Bye.
Thanks for listening. You've learned what's working on the front lines of business. Now it's time to get to work. Apply to the Strategy and Action group on Facebook to learn more and for a chance to connect with the guests on this show. Join us next time for Strategy and Action.